What's up everyone, this is Casual Cubing, and today we're going to be covering some tips and tricks to make you a little bit faster at the 3x3 and also some example solves. Let's get it.
Let's go!
Before the video starts, I just wanted to let you know that as of right now, the contest is still up, so be sure to like the 3 videos that I did on the Rubik's Cube, make sure you're subscribed, and then send me video evidence of you solving the 3x3, and I will send you up to a $15 cube from Amazon if you send it to me first before anyone else, so keep that in mind, guys. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to be employing the services of my stickered and stickerless 3x3 for today's tutorial, so don't get confused. This video is also assuming that you've already seen all 3 of my videos on the 3x3 guide, so keep that in mind because these are all going to be tips and tricks that are based on those videos. So now that we are all scrambled up, let's take a look at the cross. I wouldn't say there's too much to offer on the cross. The only major thing to get faster at it would be to make sure that sometimes you do 2 things at a time. So for example here, I know that this green from this green yellow needs to go up here. So when I'm moving this up, we also see that a orange and green pair is formed here, and we can move this up as well. So basically the only tip for this step is to make sure that we're not wasting any time at places we don't need to be and doing them individually instead of multiples at a time when it's necessary. So next let's move on to the corners where we have our first real opportunity to actually take a bit of a shortcut to speed things up here. So you may have noticed if we're moving a corner like this green, yellow, red into this spot here, and the green face is on the right side, we can do our algorithm and get this in place very easily. But then for example, we have this corner here, the green, white, and orange. So if we put that under its spot and we do our algorithm, it actually takes 3 times to do this algorithm rather than the once that it took to do this other corner. So we can remedy this situation is actually keep it on the left side like this, and we follow a modified algorithm which is a mirror of our corner insertion algorithm, and this will just be left, down, left, prime, B prime, and this will actually get our corner in there without so many moves. The final situation, as you may have noticed, is where the color is on the bottom of the top face, in which case you have to do the algorithm 2 times in order to fix it. And this actually has a little bit of a skip as well. So what we can do to modify this is we put it under the same spot like this, and what we do is R prime D2 R D, and this will only take 1 more time to then get the corner in its right place. I'm going to be honest, for the edge insertion there's not really too many shortcuts you can take. One thing I would definitely say is to do the edges that are already up here before you worry about kicking ones out down here on their own. The only time you should be kicking edges out on their own is when they are flipped in their spot. So for example, instead of just putting this one into here and then putting this in properly into its spot over here, let's just put this in here. And then now this will be freed up and we can just insert it there. Like that. Sometimes we have these edges like this, and sometimes it'll be these are switched, in which case we just have to kick one in there and then we can use this one to put in there. So we're just going to insert a random edge in here, like I said, and then we will put this edge in here, which will free up this edge to put over there. And then our last edge will be free. So the idea is don't just kick edges out by themselves when you have the edge that would really go in that spot in this top layer. For our next step for the blue cross, I'm going to talk about each situation here. When you have a dot, there's actually no real skip. You just have to go into your fruit algorithm. However, there is a skip from having to do this algorithm over and over again once you get the L. So what we can do is instead of putting the L in the upper left like this, we can put it in the lower right like this, and we can do the following algorithm. Little f, which means we move both of these first 2 layers with an F move, R, U, R prime, U prime, little f prime. and that will get us a cross without having to repeat the algorithm 2 times. For the next situation where we're trying to get the colors on these edges correct and lined up with their respective centers, a little skip that we can do is if we have this opposite situation where this is the worst case scenario for this, what we can do is we hold them left to right and apply our normal algorithm. And actually what we will do coming out of this algorithm every time is just do a 2U move, turn our whole cube clockwise, and we'll be set up perfectly every time to go into the next algorithm if you're just looking for a little bit of a step there. For the corner swapping position up here, there's really not too much of a skip you can do. The thing I would do is just say to pan around the cube like this, make sure that no corners are in the right spot if there isn't any, and then just immediately go into your algorithm. And then we can see here that one is, so we're going to immediately just put it in the upper right, and then we're just going to go again. And then once you see 2 are in the right spot, you know that you're done, because it's either 1 is wrong, or all are right. So that means that all of these are right because these 2 are right. So I imagine if you've solved the cube a few times now, you've seen an end situation like this, where you have 3 corners that need to be flipped, but you'll notice that the top color is on the right of each of these blocks here. And this is actually a really good situation because it means that we need to apply our corner flipping algorithm only once on each of these. So just like twice, I guess. My bad. Oof. That. Like that. So this is probably our best situation, or near best situation, maybe if we have 2 that are only in the wrong places or they're all solved, that we can get for the ease of this algorithm. However, this is the exact opposite of this situation here, where if we actually look at it, the top color is on the left side of each of these, and this will mean that we'll have to apply the algorithm 2 or 3 more times than we usually would have to. So the solution that we have for this is actually we're going to be doing this from the left side. So we put this in the upper left, and we apply the algorithm that we did that was the mirror of our corner flipping algorithm in the beginning of this video. So this will just be L, D, L prime, D prime, L, D, L prime, D prime. This one's not right, so we just rotate this to here. L, D, L prime, D prime, L, D, L prime, D prime. Again, right here. And this will save us a whole bunch of moves. This is like the last situation that we had, but for the left side instead. So it makes things a lot easier for us. Alright, awesome guys. I hope these tips helped. And now we're going to be moving on to some example solves with these cubes where we can apply these tips in real time and I can explain them. Let's do it.